TikTok. Thank you for joining us. Hope you guys all had a great holiday.
And now we're live on here.
And now we're live here. So, welcome to Coffee and Bullshit episode 123. Said, hopefully, everybody had a great Christmas. I forgot my paper, so let me grab that so I can say some stuff.
Forgot to do the intro. We're forgetting everything on this new year, or soon the end of the year.
It's tough getting back in the groove after the holidays.
There we go.
Just out of whack. Got to get back in the groove here.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to make this too long. Around 15, you trying to see it?
So I'm just trying to read the stuff that are popping up. So I won't be able to respond to comments because I can't see that far. But welcome, everybody. So I hope you had a great holiday. Looking forward to an awesome new year.
Like I'm in frame, out of frame.
A couple things since we have people here already. I'll give you, just want to give a shout out. We have a new retailer out in New Jersey, which is awesome. It's our first retailer in New Jersey, Tactical Training Center. They're in Flemington, New Jersey. Their website's Tactical Training Center, NJ.com. Go check them out. It's range and training. Go help support them, please. People always worry that if they buy from our retailers or buy from Amazon or any other place that it hurts us, but we make the same donation no matter what. So please go help support them. That helps support us. The stronger we make them, the better. Plus, you get to support another local company, which we always love is awesome.
And it's New Jersey, all right?
Jersey.
Home of the most black bears in America by population.
So you would never think that, right?
You wouldn't think of that, but it's a small, useless fact in my head.
And then another friend of ours, John and Candy from Iowa, who's always been a great retailer for us doing shows. Hometown Trinity Heroes, you guys know him as. Probably see him pop up in our page all the time. Pretty awesome. Candy was working for a coffee shop there in Mount Ayr, Iowa for a long time. They've taken over. It's kind of their dream to take over, have their own shop. They're starting that. Their grand opening is January 2nd. So now Hometown Trinity Heroes will be there selling their outdoor tactical gear, scopes, everything. They sell everything there.
Body armor.
Plus, the coffee part, they renamed Mama and Papa Bear Coffee, and they'll be using our coffee to make some of their awesome drinks. So Candy's like the ultimate barista. She's been doing it forever. They're going to make great stuff. So please go help support them. Show up for them. It would be awesome. What else?
Well, as 2023 ends, 2024 begins. So make sure you have a safe and happy new year. Plus, the new law in Illinois takes effect. We are not lawyers, so do what you want to do. And if you're in California watching this and you decide to buy a 3D printer after the 1st, you have to register it as an FFL item.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So then, now, like I said, should you register everything? Because I can make gun parts out of aluminum cans. So now I have to register every case of Coke I buy.
Probably.
All 24 cans.
It is California.
Is the aluminum can now an assault weapon?
A fully automatic soda pop.
It's just
I don't know.
This is the way they take away rights an inch at a time, and nobody notices because they're only doing an inch at a time. And then what do you know? Pretty soon it's gone.
Well, like they're hopefully the after the Illinois gets all their litigations out of the way and get the full Supreme Court to look at it, it'd be something where everybody's hoping for. So just like Warsaw Patriot, I see again, looking forward to 23 in the U.S. Supreme Court. I think we are looking at that because anyone who does have a so-called assault weapon in Illinois is pretty much going to be an outlaw.
Just appeal it again with the merits. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's been a good fight. You guys have done an awesome job supporting
Yes.
us through Cold Dead Hands. That money donating has made huge leaps and bounds.
Yes.
So please don't feel disheartened by that. This is just part of the fight. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. It's going to take a while, but we'll keep going. We're still making more Cold Dead Hands because we're going to keep funding the fight. You guys are doing a great job. You guys did an awesome job of supporting through that. So thank you guys so much for that. And we'll just keep going until we get there. Hopefully. Warsaw Patriot thinks he'll even destroy the arguments.
for a Floyd card.
The Floyd, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Floyd card has been around since 68, I want to say.
Yeah. That's what you said, yeah. Floyd Act.
Yeah. 1966.
86. It's been on the book since 1986, and it's nothing but a tax for your right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Might as well tax your rights to speak or vote. No shit.
Michael Sinclair, hello.
Same.
Peace from Batavia.
There are no real rights anymore.
No, we're losing our rights slowly as gun owners. And there's gun owners too, who are Democrat or liberal or Republican or conservative, whatever you want to say. They're just taking it away because of feeling safe. No criminals has ever registered a weapon. No criminals have ever been law-abiding, I guess, if you're a criminal. Right. So they're just hurting law-abiding people because it looks scary, you know.
But once you take away the second, there goes the first also.
Yeah.
And that's what starts opening up the limit on the first, because once you prove that you can put limits on rights, and there's some limits on certain rights now, but right now, the Second Amendment, you can be guilty and have to prove you're innocent. The red flag laws, especially, they come take your weapons. To get that right back, you have to prove that you're innocent and you're assumed guilty. There's no other right that can be taken away from you without a trial first. But the Second Amendment, you can lose your right to the Second Amendment without a trial. It's the only one. And don't kid yourself. The second goes, the first will start getting limited too. It'll be an inch at a time of what you can or can't do. And the problem people don't get is it's very subjective. You think, oh, I don't think you should be able to say this and hurt my feelings or trigger stuff. It's only a short time before that thing that you think that you say is okay, someone decides that's offensive. And there's no end to it. Like I said, one of the smartest things I ever heard from Larry Flint was, if you protect me, if I'm the worst case scenario and you protect me, that's how you ensure that you will always be safe. Because if all the way to my extreme is safe, then you're always going to be safe. Yeah. People are so worried about their feelings, too dumb to recognize that that's the case and what's going to happen.
When we were growing up, and even our parents, somebody hurts your feelings, that's the way you learn about how to deal with stuff. Okay, somebody hurt my feelings, fuck them and carry on. You deal with the emotion. Now it's, oh my God, you hurt my feelings, and I'm gonna go off the side and cry, and because I can't, you hurt my feelings. You know what? Grow up.
Right.
What was the thing Candace Burtis? Candace?
Oh, life's tough. Get a helmet.
Yeah, life's tough. Life's tough. Get a helmet.
That's one of my favorite things. I've watched that clip so many times. Just like, life's tough. Get a helmet. It's true. It's so about, God, people are so individualized and think they're so special, and that they're not open to hearing anything that might offend them. One of the greatest things a teacher ever taught me in high school was, it's your job as a citizen of this country, as a human being of this planet, to go find something that offends you every day, because that's the only way you get your mind open and educate yourself. If you only ever look at just what you know and don't look inside, then you're living a life of ignorance. You're living a life of half the knowledge out there. Not everybody believes what you believe, so you need to go find other things. Find what you're offended. It'll either strengthen your beliefs or open you up to others. That's the only way to do it. So he's every day you should read the newspaper front to back. I started doing that when I was a sophomore in high school, and I loved it. And I started every day. Just, it's an amazing amount of knowledge you gather, and I'd find stuff that I'm offended by this. And then it makes you go research it more. And then what happens is you either learn how to better defend your viewpoint, understand more of why you believe in your viewpoint, so you can talk more intelligently about it and defend and fight for it, or you may change a little bit. But now, what I see is the far left, they're not open to talk about anything. They've been taught that if you don't believe exactly what they believe, think like they think, that you're evil. And the only reason that you think the way you do is not because you have a different experience, different education, or have experienced more. It's simply because you're evil.
Yeah.
That is the brainwashing programming that Hitler used to take power between World War I and World War II. Lost the first time. Somebody started going after. He went after the youth. He indoctrinated the youth. Hitler youth. Start with the youth. They push on the parents, and that's where you started from. A generation ahead. It took them to one generation to get there. It's happening now. I watch when people go to speak at college campuses, and there's people who stand there and just scream at them. and they're not willing to have a conversation, they scream like
Oh yeah.
children.
So, I mean, just have a conversation. You don't need to scream.
Right.
Just have a conversation with that person there.
Right.
Just like, you know,
I've never
two decent human beings could do instead of just screaming.
I've never seen a college educated person stick their fingers in there and say blah blah blah. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, it's getting a little ridiculous. And yes, with pronouns, I don't agree with it. There's male, female. You know what? Also, I don't give a shit either. It is what it is. You know what? If I see you and I say, "Hey, dude," you know what's up, and all of a sudden, you know, I'm not a dude. I'm like, dude, just forget about it. You're gonna make me keep saying it because I just don't give a shit.
The only one that bothers me is the they, them, all the new pronouns.
Oh, yeah.
You're not two
they,
people.
them, you know.
But the only reason
If you're two people, you're a little
right. The only reason people do that is because these kids have been taught and told from the day they were born that they're special. They're extra special. They're super special. That's why they're the generation of everybody gets a trophy. Everybody's special. So what happens is they get out in the real world after they leave mom and dad. They leave the nest and they find out they're not special. They're just like everybody else.
But the business is now starting to cater to their special.
Well, if you want to be special, you have to do something special.
That's true.
These kids want to be special for doing nothing. So how do I become special? I make speech difficult and I make speech weird. So what do? I say I have these pronouns. I'm a they, which everybody's been taught from the time they were in school that people are singular. And so what have I done? I've now made speech difficult for you, made it obnoxious. So now I have a reason to be upset all the time when you don't say they, because it's not natural. You've learned for 12 years that people are singular. So now I feel special again, and I can blow up and scream and be offended. So now I'm special again.
It's just like with math, you know, this core math that they teach. I mean, even, you know, with my daughter is trying to figure out math, and they're like, "No, you can't do it." I'm like, 2 + 2 is 4. It's easy, just done. No, you got no. You know, I'll take 4 and break 4 into 2s and 4 and then 2s into 1s and figure it out. No,
the Common Core is so ridiculous, and I watch all these.
You got to be quick with math.
Right.
You can't become quick if you have to look at all this. It's just 4 + 4.
I watch kids. Like, it's funny. Like, my kids forever didn't know their multiplication tables, and they were bad at addition and subtraction. We did it. So I stopped doing got away from Common Core, and I started doing flashcards with my kids. And like, if you just memorize this, your life will be easier.
Mm-hmm.
You want to stop and break down bricks. Like, this makes it easier. And after teaching them for a long time, then they're able to start getting when they ask questions. They were saying like, let me think about the blocks, and I'm moving my 3s and my 10s and my 1. They were like, they just knew it. That makes it so much easier.
But they're penalized at school if they just say it out loud.
It was so ridiculous. Like
5 times 5.
Trying to help my daughter with homework. I never learned Common Core, had no idea. And when it was, I had to go look up in the internet, like, how do I do this simple problem in Common Core? I'm like, oh my God, this takes like 10 minutes. I'm like, here's an easy way to do it that takes 1 minute. I'm like, it's very quick.
You know, because in real life, you can't sit there and say, let me figure. Sometimes you're on the fly. Just go. Yeah. Just go. I mean, especially in situations, life and death, you can't sit there and go, let me, it's just say, fuck it, do it, done.
Oh, kids are, anybody who works as a cashier in fast food, oh man, if you give them anything odd, I like to do it when I have time. If something's 318, I give them 415. Their minds will be blown. They have no idea what to do. They'll like punch it in. It won't seem right to them. They can't understand like why you give them 415. Their brain is completely fried and scrambled. So it has to be just the computer spits it back. They have no idea.
But why would they have to know, right? Most people today pay with a card.
Mm-hmm.
So you just boom, card done. It takes out the exact same thing.
What's funny is remember how excited we all were when crypto came out, this awesome new thing. But now what our U.S. government's going to turn into once it's all electronic is now a great way to track every penny ever spent.
And every penny that you do spend, they can track.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anywhere you go.
Right. So now this thing was supposed to be decentralized. It started out as like a way to transfer money around the world. Now it's going to track every penny that you move ever. And guess who's going to pay the penalty for that? Who they're going to crack down on? The single person companies. It'll be a great way for the multi-billion-dollar corporations to move money around the world without anybody ever knowing where it's at. But the little guy will get cracked down on.
Yeah.
You spent $5 here and didn't report that. Where'd that $5 income come from? My God, I don't know. And you're going to be accountable for every penny. Maybe though, at least the IRS, who already knows how much you owe them in tax, rather make you go pay an accountant to fill out all the form, to figure out what that number is, send it to them, they come back and tell you you're right or you're wrong. Maybe now they can just say, hey, this is what we see you owe. Why don't they send you that bill first? Say, this is what we know you owe. This is the amount. Here's what deductions do you have from this amount. Rather than have to go through the whole fucking rigmarole of going through all that, having to pay someone $600 a year because the tax laws are so convoluted. What I can take, what I can't take, when I can take it, when I can't take it, make it so difficult.
And tax laws change every year.
Right. Why not just make it, hey, guess what? It's the end of the year. Looks like you owe $15,000. You've paid in $14,000, or you paid in $18,000. Are there any other deductions that we don't know about that you can include on here? I'd rather just go with a list of my deductions than fucking having to go through every little tiny aspect of it.
Well, but you know what? Even if they did that, you'd still want to take it to somebody like, hey, is this correct? Because how would you know what's correct or not?
Because they could simplify it.
Well, they could, but that's
here's what you owe. Here's what
they'll never do that.
Here's what you should have paid at this level of income. Now I can just be like, here's what each of these deductions are worth. I know already from this level of income, there's how much these. I can just put it in.
If they did it by
I have a
income
mortgage.
level,
I pay this much interest. I have a business. This is what I use to blah blah blah. And here it is. Blah blah blah. Then I can see my own what they think I owe versus what I paid versus my deductions. There's a refund. I owe. My deductions don't count. Blah blah blah.
yeah.
Super simple that anybody could fill it out and do it, rather than writing it in stereo instructions of a foreign language.
Yeah.
Yeah, most only got 6th grade, and now there's a huge literacy epidemic too. More kids can't read at all. They're finding now because of like COVID, what happened, and the lack of schooling. The literacy rate is super low now.
Oh yeah, I mean I see that with both my kids.
It's
You
crazy.
can tell the difference from one to the other, different reading levels from just skipping, by staying home. It's
I remember being able to read before I went to kindergarten. Like it was a 2nd grade level book that my mom taught me to read. Worked on it all the time. The incentive was I wanted to be able to read like my brother could, who was a year older than me. But my kids were bad readers. We read to them every night, taught them, walked through it. They're much better readers now.
yeah.
But their math still, even with all the flashcards going through it, still they struggle.
And even those that join the military, which everything in the military is at 8th grade reading levels, which is hard to believe, and probably 8th grade math for most stuff. But yeah, I mean that's all the military requires is at least an 8th grade reading level.
Well, think about it. You don't have to know how to read anymore to get information.
No, you don't.
When we grew up, the only way to get additional information was to go read. So it forced you to learn how to read. I learned how to speed read in college because I didn't want to spend hours doing homework and reading the book. So I learned how to speed read so I could get through stuff, get the important information quickly, and move on. So it forced me on my own to go take the initiative to become a better reader, just so I could get information faster. Now you can just ask Google, and it will tell you the information. So you don't have to learn it. You don't have to actually be able to read to get the information.
Well, when you ask Google, it will put it up there, but it also could read for you.
Right. But the problem is when you do that and you let Google tell you what the answer is, you're being told an answer that's filled with propaganda, because that's from Google's viewpoint. It's Google's opinion that's pushed on that. It's no longer discerned. Here's all the information. Now come up with your own opinion. Use your own brain. Figure out what it's really saying. What really happened here. Now history is how we tell you it is, because that's all you'll ever read. Because you won't read in depth. You'll get the 30-second snapshot of what it was, and that's all you'll know. And you will die on that hill because that's all the information you have.
Well,
So I used to go read stuff like history. What's funny, the history they teach in school is, right, all sins are washed in history. Everything's recorded as so you only get what they want to tell you.
Well, history is written by the winners, never by the losers, right? It's the way it's always been. But I mean, you get the Civil War, right? The Civil War, right? We call it the Civil War. The South calls it the War of Aggression, right? But most history books only say Civil War, not War of Aggression. I'm just saying, just different parts, right? I mean, but when you start on your own, when you start reading about what we did here in the North or what happened in the South, written by somebody from the South, there's going to be some different opinions on stuff.
Sure.
I mean, so you want to learn different opinions from both sides.
Well, the nice thing to do, especially like Civil War, I'd love to read about, was you read the stuff written from different people's perspectives.
Correct.
On both sides, rather than just a centralized history book of this is what it says. So now you read, here's John Smith, who was in Kentucky. He wrote his personal aspects and his personal vision on the war and what was going on. So you get his side of it rather than just here's just what history says. That's because that's why I kept on finding is I kept reading more and more of that. I was getting conflicting opinions and conflicting information to what the history books had told me. And it got way more in depth. And it was really interesting to see what the motivations were.
Yeah.
Just like all the stuff like when you start looking back at Carnegie and fucking Ford, Rockefeller. Like the history books never said those guys were all in cahoots and working together.
No.
They made it like it was a whole opposite timeline. Like they had nothing to do with each other. Then you go back and start reading and you find out they were all colluding. They all got together to elect a false president. The fucking Carnegie went and killed people, used the Pinkertons to fucking go kill people. And the Pinkertons, the history I had initially was, there was just this group of cowboys who were helping the law officials and they were helping keeping law on the land. Said that what they were was a for-hire mercenary squad that went and murdered anybody who caused any problems for any of those big industrialists. Carnegie had they tried to unionize, and because they were getting shit pay for shit work, hours were ridiculous. And then he went and hired the Pinkertons, and they slaughtered a whole bunch of protesters, shot them in cold blood dead. The history books will never tell you that story. They were these great guys who were law-abiding citizens and wanted to help keep order when there wasn't much law in the West.
I mean,
it's all bullshit.
Sometimes they were, right? Because I want to say, I think, wasn't it the King County Sheriff at the time? He's the one who started the Pinkertons. It was a weird story about. Thought it was from King County here in Illinois that he moved out there to start the Pinkertons, but I could be wrong. Or he was. I know there's a whole story.
I heard about Killers of the Flower Moon being disturbing. I didn't see what it was yet, but
what is it?
Killers of the Flower Moon.
I sound familiar. That's with what's his name?
That has happened in history in America.
Yeah, about industrial against the Indians who were trying to make a living, something like that. Yeah, that might be a good one. Maybe
there was so much dirty shit going
on.
Oh
God, yeah.
Like it's still like when I was a kid, Edison was a hero. He was this great inventor hero.
Correct.
Then I grew up and read the truth. Right. I'm like, he's the biggest piece of garbage ever. Who was a son of a bitch, who was such an asshole.
Really never just invented anything. He just put it after his own name and had his people work like slaves.
Right. And it's because of Tesla, who was his apprentice, that we have electricity. It's because of him, not because of Edison. The Wizard of Menlo Park. The Wizard of Menlo Park, who murdered an elephant for no reason to try to prove he was more right than his apprentice because he's just a egotistical asshole. Yeah. I mean, it's disgusting, some of the stuff that's gone on, but you never get to learn about that. But so these kids who don't read, who won't bother to go research, will get the 30-second spiel, and they'll believe whatever they're told. Yeah, because that's what they're told, and they're told that repeatedly.
Well, it's like anything, right? If you forget about the past, you're doomed in the future. Right? So it's going to tend to repeat itself. I mean, look at everything that's starting off now. History repeats itself all the time. It doesn't matter. Every 80 years, we're in a major war. Mm-hmm. Are we in that time frame? We're pretty close. What's going on in Ukraine, Middle East. The
levee's going to break.
Yeah.
It can't hold this long. There's so much tension from North Korea, from China, from Russia. Now what? ISIS is pushing back up again. So we're going to be so spread around that there's going to have to be a breaking point again. I don't doubt another world war. I don't think it will actually go nuclear, but I don't doubt another world war is coming. There's no way out of this for Russia. There's no way out. It's been this long.
If Russia pulls out, they'll look weak.
A year ago, Russia was going to run out of money and run out of equipment, run out of soldiers. Hasn't happened. Ukraine was going to run out of money. So we gave them all the money and all the things they needed. So neither one was going to back down. Putin can't, because then he looks like he's weak. It looks like he made a huge mistake. Can't take all the money we've spent and let Ukraine back down. So there's no solution except war, and then whoever wins, wins. And what happens is, as soon as we go to war, that's going to pull NATO into it, and it's going to pull us into it. And, well, the Israel conflict, my God. That too,
how much that stuff has divided America itself, under the two factions.
Yeah, and Hamas is good. Right. Warsaw Page is worried about Hamas. They're becoming more powerful.
I wouldn't say Hamas itself, but Iran is really just, like this, controlling everything, right? It's got Hamas.
Well,
it's got
what I didn't understand was
Houthis.
The leader of Hamas, or the leaders of Hamas are some of the three richest men in the world.
Yeah, Hamas. So what's that one up north? Hezbollah.
I couldn't believe they're like some of the richest guys, like billions, and it's like they're so well funded. How they can exhaust us. This isn't just some little cell. This is a huge group with ties everywhere, with lots of resources.
Yeah, and if he's probably right, cartels probably helping them because they got. Of course, they have money.
Because the only thing the cartels give a shit about is money.
Yeah,
they don't give a shit about anything else. And whoever throws the most money on them will be the ones who they side with.
And like what this month, last month, whatever it is, the record number of captured and getaways or whatever they call it down the border. Well, how do they really know if 10,000 people are gotaways?
Mm-hmm.
They don't know. They just kind of throw a number out there. It could be 12, 15. Sure. They don't.
Whatever estimate they come up with.
Yeah, whatever estimate they come up with. And, those who got away or got caught or didn't get caught, what are they bringing in here? Drugs, weapons, money, I don't know. Whatever they're bringing in.
Hey, the other great thing is I can't believe they let U.S. Steel sell to Japan. It's the most unbelievable thing ever. And to let
U.S. security.
Now that you can't make steel in the U.S. anymore, you've weakened a country by doing that.
I think they're still making steel in America. It's just
it's a Japanese company.
Japanese company.
Yeah. So think about all the companies that have bases here. Basically, they're basically like bases within our own country, right? So think of all the manufacturers that are Chinese manufacturers where they assemble their cars here. The crazy thing is, some of the most American companies are foreign companies who decide to come here and assemble their products here.
Yeah,
they're the most American, but it's like having a base here. So it's funding. It's straight information from inside our borders. It's a great way to ship people in. What's up, Todd?
Yeah.
Todd from Free to Steel joining us. Thank you, Todd. For
at least they're Japanese, not another Chinese company.
Well, right, but we have a ton of Chinese companies.
Oh yeah, we have a ton.
Doesn't mean we can't have a problem with Japan. People forget that it was only what 60 years ago that we weren't 80 years ago.
80 years ago.
I can't believe it was 80 years ago that we weren't friends with Japan.
Right. And Japan, for being a small island that they were at that time, had a lot of territory.
Mm-hmm.
The rising sun symbol right there.
Yeah.
They had their hands in everything.
So I don't know how many more people do you want to have bases in this country? It's funny the restrictions that other countries put on us to move there and do manufacturing.
Yeah, like in China.
We don't put any. Come on in.
Come on in.
We're a nation of brokers. We're no longer a nation of manufacturers. The problem is once you let, so we already have a massive problem that there's major dollars being made here, profiting off Americans, and then our earnings are being claimed as offshore earnings, and they're paying no taxes on it. Now, if you take U.S. Steel, this massive company that generates billions of dollars, and now you're going to lose all the tax on that, and that's all going to become Japanese money. It's offshore earnings. So you're taking all this money out of the system, and you're never putting it back in. That's why inflation's where it is, because you have no way to raise the gross domestic product to combat inflation when all the money is leaving the country. The hole in the boat's bigger than you can bail it. That's what it is, and letting U.S. Steel go is another hole in the boat.
Yeah, and if you keep letting people in the country, and we're just giving them free money, right? What, $5,000 a cell phone? Parents will show up 10 years later. It makes no sense.
Right. And the funny thing is, the last administration said we can't let this happen. We have to put tariffs on products coming into the country. Oh, you're a racist.
No,
he said no. You have to equalize it. You can't let foreign companies come in here and sell products cheaper that our own manufacturers who are making it right here have fair labor laws or supporting their workers. Just better you're racist. That was the stupidity that's behind it, because that's what they've been indoctrinated to, that you're racist if you do anything that's considered nationalism. The one thing I've learned that I really thought about is you can never be a great globalist until you're first a great nationalist. You got to clean up your shit at home before you go tell the people how to raise
you just said
your
a
kids.
racist word.
Yeah.
Nationalist.
Right, but that's
Right?
but it's not. But nationalism is not racism. So that's what
try
the
telling that to the left.
You can't be a great globalist until you're first a great nationalist. You got to clean up your own yard, manage your own kids before you go tell people how to take care of their yard and raise their kids.
Yeah.
Because you're an idiot if you're out there telling people, oh, your kids should be doing this, should be doing that, and your kids are wild nightmares, and you got shit all over your yard, and you're over there bitching at your neighbor about what they're doing. Then you're ignorant, and so that's what happens. You have to fix here first, so that the rest of the world doesn't have to worry about us, so we can contribute to the global scale. But you can't contribute globally if you are all screwed up nationally. This is why third world countries will never be great globalists, because they're so screwed up internally they can't contribute to the world.
Yeah, I mean, some businesses are now starting to move out of China to India, Vietnam, where it's also cheaper too, right? Because I'd like to go to Vietnam one day.
Yes, Pacer says business are being moved out of China to India and even Vietnam. And Vietnam hates China big time. Well, yeah, of course, of course. China was the massive supporters of the North Vietnamese Party because of communism. So they're what helped keep Vietnam under communist rule.
But then in the 70s, China did attack Vietnam and got their asses whooped by Vietnam. So, hey, everybody, we want to thank everybody who carries our coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Like Gat Guns, Range 355,
Fox
Valley.
K9 for Veterans down in Bolingbrook.
Yes.
Woodman's in Carpentersville, Woodman's in North Aurora. I don't want to forget anybody, so that's why I had my phone here. I was going to pull up the whole list.
Yeah, your phone's being used.
Yep.
So's mine.
But go on our website, check it out. Go look. We have Air City. We have lots of companies. Love your help, support. Please reach out to them. There's always something close. Bad Arms, Cops are another two of our newer stores.
Geneva Ace Hardware.
Geneva Ace Hardware. Yep, a lot of people buy it there. It's awesome. Oh, if you like to experience our coffee, Bash in Geneva uses our coffee, our espresso, and our decaf, and a lot of their drinks. Craft Urban uses our coffee and their specialty drinks that they make
in Geneva.
Yeah, right in downtown. They're close to each other. They like great food. Go there. Go help support them. Craft Urban always does awesome, like great, unique special dishes. Bash is the burgers are awesome. Their sushi's awesome. It's a great atmosphere. I like Bash. It's a lot of fun to go hang out at.
And Todd, we'll get a hold of you this coming January, because we need to have you come down here with the president of the Aurora Sportsman Club again. Have you on here and present you.
Yeah, talk again more about what's going on, what we can expect. Are we gonna get anywhere? What the deal is?
Yes, and I know what something's going on January 16th with some BS Illinois State Police ruling thing or something. I know Todd has talked about it, and we'll get more information about that in the coming days. But hey, thanks for supporting us. Don't forget to use GBC10 to get your coffee. Thanks for supporting us online and coming to the shop. It's been a great year.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys broke the record. We haven't tallied the numbers, the final for this year. As you guys know, we donate $1 from every item we sell to local veteran and first responder charities. I think we definitely surpassed last year. But we'll come out with the final numbers, let you guys know what that is. We've picked our organizations who we're going to give our big checks to. If you guys don't know us, every year at the end of the year, we collect all those donations. We donate small amounts throughout the year, gift baskets, help organizations to reach out to us. But at the end of the year, we take 4 or 5 organizations that really seem to have a great mission, need the most help, whatever the case, and we select them and we give our bigger donations to them. So we'll let you know who those guys are coming up here, but it should be awesome.
I can't read that. It's just
join. Message. William David. I don't know. Can't see that.
So, hey, everybody, thanks for a great year, 2023.
Have a great new year coming up here tomorrow. Be safe.
Tomorrow.
Be safe. Come back. Visit us.
and let's make 2024 a great year, especially for the Second Amendment here in Illinois. And
Let's get it back.
yeah, let's get it back. And be safe and happy and prosperous 2024. And with that,
Thank you, guys.
we're done. And
Yep.
don't forget to keep your head on a swivel. All right.
Have a great weekend.